BlogTalk Radio.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this conversation about your Kundalini awakening experience. My name is Chrism, and because in the Western world, i.e. Europe and United States, Canada, parts of South America, Australia, and other parts of the world, they are inside of the holiday experience with Christmas and Hanukkah and various other holidays. And so I want to welcome everyone to this holiday version of our program about the Kundalini awakening experiences. And so what I haven't spoken much about in these conversations is the influence of the Egyptian mystery schools upon the Western societies. Back in fairly recent history, maybe about 1,000 years ago, people were going down to Egypt and looking at the pyramids and discovering things, this and that, and they were discovering what it meant to be an ancient Egyptian and work within the Kundalini. And this was brought into the Masonic understandings in Western Europe, I think in around the even earlier, 1400s, 1500s. Nicholas Flamel, who I have mentioned before, and that is, his last name is spelled Flamel. Nicholas Flamel did some paintings. I mean, either that, Nicholas himself could have been Kundalini active. Actually, he had knowledge about it because if you look at his paintings, he shows paintings of Kundalini dismemberment. He shows paintings of the different stages of Kundalini acquisition and, how that would be impressed upon the body and expressed through the body. And so, Nicholas Flamel, if you look at his paintings, and I really strongly suggest everybody does, it will not resemble the Hindu 7-chakra system that many people are used to, but it does definitely speak of the Kundalini. And I want to bring this up at this time of the year because of the significance of Christmas and what many of the secret hidden codes wrapped within childhood fable, wrapped within artwork, wrapped within fantasy expectation, things like that. And what I mean by fantasy expectation is what we were brought up with as a child. So, we have the Christmas tree, we have the presents under the Christmas tree, we have the Santa Claus and his helpers, the elves. We have Santa Claus going up and down a chimney. We have the reindeer. We have all of these types of things that, on one level, on the, shall we say, the unawakened, mundane level, they mean very specific things. Oh, when I was raised, my mother, she'd show us how to set up a Christmas tree and to hang the ornaments, and it was all very pretty and nice, and we would, wrap the presents, put the presents under the tree, and the whole bit. What so many people are doing right now as we speak. Mary Jean saying, guess we missed Hanukkah. Well, there's all kinds of holidays during the December, early January period. And so today I just want to discuss the symbolism of Christmas within the Kundalini. And this was given to me by the Kundalini about 6 months ago. And so I've had to wait 6 months before I could bring out the Kundalini information regarding Christmas. But before I go ahead and do this, I'd like to do a little bit of a sound check with Mary Jean and Vincent. Could either one of you type whether or not the sound is coming through clearly and cleanly, and we'll just hang on a little bit here just to see it. Oh, the sound is good. Good. Thank you both. Thank you both of you. All right, so we're just going to dive right into this. So the Christmas tree. Well, the Christmas tree is an allusion to the pineal gland, the pine, which is what we're usually using as a Christmas tree, a sugar pine or a ponderosa pine or some sort of a pine-based tree is typically cut and put into the living room of the individual, the living room of people's families. Well, the pine tree is very significant because of its relationship to the pineal gland, which is actually shaped exactly like a pine cone. When the pineal gland is lit up by the Kundalini, and with the Kundalini you don't need to buy Christmas lights because it is in and of itself an enlightening aspect. And so when the Christmas tree is lit up and all the gifts and decorations are upon the Christmas tree, well, that is a direct relationship to the pineal gland being lit up, and all the gifts and decorations of the Kundalini are being given into and upon the individual. And so this is extremely important with regards to Kundalini. When we look at the Christmas tree and we look at the lights upon it and the glittery aspects of it and the gifts under the tree, well, the gifts under the tree are also the gifts under the pineal gland. And so this would be the gifts of healing, the gifts of any of the Siddhic skills, psychokinesis, telepathy, clairaudience, clairvoyance, you name it. These are the gifts that are coming through with regards to the Kundalini. Now, let's go ahead and add in the elves, and let's add in the Amanita muscaria mushroom. The Amanita muscaria mushroom, first of all, it's an Amanita mushroom, which means very, very, very important that you be very, very sure what kind of a mushroom you have before you partake of it. But the Amanita muscaria, even though it's an Amanita, is non-toxic to humans. It's also referred to as the fly agaric, and that last word is spelled Agaric. And this little mushroom that has the red cap and the white spots on it, when you take this has various chemicals in it, and these gifts of the mushroom will allow one to see the little people around you. The little people, the elves, the fairies, the creatures that exist in a slightly different time or physical continuum, but can overlap into this one. So when we're referring to Santa's helpers and the elves and all of this, we're actually referring to phenomena that can be observed and participated with regards to going into an altered space and actually seeing and interacting with these creatures. The whole red and white of Santa's costume. Red and white. Red, of course, being the color of the Shakti Kundalini, and white, of course, being the color of the sacred male or the Shiva. And this blending of those colors upon the same person is an indication of the Kundalini awakened upon you. You, the individual, you too are wearing the beautiful dark velvety red and the brilliant white, soft white that the Shiva also represents. In addition to silver and gold, which are also colors of sacred male and sacred female, also red and blue, which are also colors of sacred male, sacred female. And so during this time, we are literally surrounded with commercial-based reminders of Kundalini. Kundalini. So here we are, December 23rd, 2015, and we're coming up to Christmas Eve, and we're coming up to Santa's big sleigh ride as the little girls and little boys, and hopefully the big girls and the big boys, have been good because Santa knows. And how does Santa know? Well, Santa knows because Santa is actually the Kundalini within you, and Kundalini knows everything that you have thought and done throughout your entire life, throughout all the different lives that you've lived. And so when you hear that, he knows when you are sleeping, he knows when you are awake. Well, he knows when you are sleeping and mundane. He knows when you are mundane and sleeping and working through your karma. He knows this. God knows this. Goddess knows this. That aspect of the Kundalini that is always within you knows everything about you and what you're going through and what your challenges are, what your successes are, all of these different things. And he knows when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. Well, he knows when you're awake because he just gave you that spinal sleep. What a gift! That's the gift of a lifetime. And he knows when you're awake. He knows when you're activated. And he knows when you're starting to really begin to understand the multiversal qualities of life and what you need to do to meet the remaining levels of karma that you have to go through and what you need to do in order to really begin to shine the light that you're becoming. You're becoming that gift. You're becoming that gift under the pineal gland, under the Christmas tree. You are the Christmas tree. And many people, when I was a kid, we weren't really raised religious at all. We far more geared towards Santa Claus, Mrs. Claus, and Rudolph and Donner and Blitzen and all of the reindeers. And so, we put a star on top of our pineal gland or Christmas tree. We put a star up there, but other people put angels up there, and this is quite appropriate. The divine is the top of the pyramid, and if you look at a Christmas tree, a pine tree, it is shaped like a pyramid. It is a cone. A cone is a pyramid with an infinite number of sides. And it is also the shape of the Christmas tree, wide at the bottom and narrowing to the top. And then at the top of that Christmas tree, we have an angel or we have a star. And this is the divine merging that we, as active and awakened Christmas trees, with all the gifts that come with being that lit up pineal gland Christmas tree, it is there and it is that direction that we are really focusing ourselves at this time. It's an amazingly beautiful experience, and if I really want to invite you, those of you that are Kundalini active or wanting to become so, you start driving around the city that you're in. If you're in a Western city, start looking at the Christmas trees. Start looking at the abundance of red and white and green and the ornaments and the gifts, and you might want to look at it in a way that takes you beyond the initial understanding. Is like, oh, look at that. If I was a good boy or good girl all day long, I get a Christmas present under that tree, and it's so pretty. No. You are the tree. You are the gifts. You've earned each one of those gifts. The Kundalini is the force of grace that allows the transformation from Halloween, shall we say, which is the Day of the Dead, the transformation from October 31st to December 25th. And the dates, in the Masonic areas and in many other Kundalini areas, there is a very specific mathematics that is involved with dates. So, when you're 12, 25, and then whatever the year is, 2 and 5 is 7, and that would relate to the 7 chakras being lit up, and 12. Well, 12 is actually a 3. 1 and 2 is 3, and so 3 is that the sacred male, sacred female, sacred child, which is what you are. And so there's all kinds of interesting permutations of mathematics involved, of dates and times, et cetera, and so forth, with regard to the whole Christmas event. But I want to invite you to see Christmas time as a way of overt adulation, recognition, respect, and reception of the Kundalini awakening that is happening within you. You are Christmas. It's not really about somebody's God being born in a manger. No offense to the Christians. For them, of course, it will be about that. But for people that are looking beyond, into the Kundalini that is happening to them or that they want to have happening to them, this is an exceptionally important time. This is the one time of the year that you really get to wear that Kundalini on the outside of your body. You get to wear that red, you get to wear that white, you get to have that Rudolph's red nose, you get to wear the antlers like some people do, especially if they're in Ireland. I hear that's a real antler-oriented area. This is a very, very, very important time. And the fact that Santa comes up onto the roof of the house. Well, what is the roof of the house? If you understand, some of the dream interpretation of the Kundalini, well, the house is you. And what's the roof of the house? Well, the roof of the house is your seventh chakra. And a lot of people that have the Kundalini will feel like somebody or something or a group of some things or somebodies are dancing on top of their head. Head dancers is what they're referred to. And this will be the Shakti and the Shiva, the Kundalini, working its way through the many, many thousands of petals that consist of the crown chakra. Well, Santa and the eight reindeer, and you add Santa to the 8 reindeer, that's a 9, that's a completion number. And, so there's another part of the sacred mathematics with it. So as Santa walks around on your roof, basically walking around your head, and he's going to dive down the chimney. Well, what's the chimney? That is your fontanelle. And where is he diving to? Well, he's diving down your fontanelle all the way to the red chakra, to the first chakra. And there, the activation is being given. The Kundalini, where the fire is, where the gifts are given. The gifts are given from the Kundalini, which is lying dormant at the base of the spine, at the base of the chimney. You see how this all fits together. It's an amazing, amazing understanding when you come to it, from a Kundalini perspective. All the puzzle pieces are falling together. You don't even have to eat the Amanita muscaria, that little red and white spotted mushroom. You don't have to do that with the Kundalini. It's already there. That's just giving you a little. One of the chemical agents in the mushroom is called moximol, and there's a lot of DMT. A little more DMT than you would normally have, dimethyltryptamine, than you would normally have, that would allow you to phase through into the blended dimensions that the elves and the dwarves and whatnot would be able to communicate with you through. And so as Santa dives down the chimney, dives down the fontanelle, and dives, follows that fontanelle, which is your spinal cord now. The chimney becomes your spinal cord. He dives down there, and he's activating you and leaving you gifts, the gifts of grace. And these gifts of grace are really, really, really powerful. And yet, after Santa's down there, he magically comes up the spinal cord and out the fontanelle, and so does that which he has awakened. So we're still talking about a bottom to top activation, bottoms up, but it's coming from stimulation of both the heart and the head. The head and the heart both have neurites, and they both have the functions of the brain. And so it's very, very important. He knows when you are sleeping. He knows when you are awake. He knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. And so that has to do with the neurites in the heart, how you handle yourself. Are you stealing from people, or are you giving to people? Are you helping people? Are you ignoring people? How are you interacting within the social environment and the physical environment around you? And this is giving a person a teaching about how to come into a greater level of awareness with the divine within them, with the Kundalini within them. So be good for goodness sake. Just to be good. Enough of a gift. Okay? Just for the sake of being goodness. You are being good. Most people don't even know that goodness, as it lasts throughout the entire year, not just one day out of the year, as that is a continuum, that the goodness becomes a continuum, an all-encompassing, ever-expressing force of grace upon this multiverse. Well, this is what refines a person towards the Kundalini. So the Christmas time, I find, a very, 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 very special time, far different from the commercial greed-based, guilt-based meanings that sometimes can accompany the collection of gifts and the giving of such gifts and the receiving of gifts. And so for me, I look at the green, the love, the fourth chakra right there. I see the red, I see the white, oh my God, this is such a Kundalini time of year. So instead of saying Merry Christmas, I say Merry Kundalini, everybody. Merry Kundalini. I'm going to write that down here in the chat room here. Merry Kundalini, everyone. And because that's really what it is. That is what it is for those who can see, for those who can understand, for those who can participate in the greater awareness that Santa's gifts have given you, as he has activated. And Santa really, we have the patriarchal, we have Mrs. Claus too, but when Santa, you have to remember, I said Santa is wearing not only the sacred feminine, but the sacred male. So Santa can be kind of like androgynous because of the colors that the person, the figure of Santa is wearing is both indicative of sacred male, sacred female. So when sacred male and sacred female are clothed together on the one person, that is the activation point or the awakening point, and that is what you might see Santa as a representation of sacred male, sacred female, God, goddess. So Santa in actuality is a divine personage. However you want to name him, name her, name him. The figure that we know as Santa Claus is actually a figure of divinity. And so as that divinity dives down the chimney, which is the top of your head, down the fontanelle, down your spinal cord, into the first chakra, at the base of your tailbone, wow, boom, everything starts to light up. You start to have the gifts of grace. Well, Santa is now going to reverse course, and he's going to pull that energy from the first chakra, pull it all the way up the spine. And that gift of grace is going to fountain out the top of the fontanelle because it's a fountain point. That's why it's called the fontanelle, which is Latin for fountain. Well, him and his 8 reindeer that have been stepping all over the 1,000 petals, activating them, well, now they fly off. They fly off and do their thing. And they leave you with the gifts of grace. And in a way they leave you, in a way they don't, because God is never away from you. Divinity is never separate from you. It will encourage you to begin to understand the unification of all the multiverses around us, and how we are one and we are separate, and we are one and we are separate at the same time. Individual and merged. Individual and merged. It goes over and over and over and over. And I want people to understand this. It's very, 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 very important. outside of, shall we say, religious or spiritual understandings of Kundalini. Well, Christmas is kind of an exo-spiritual example of Kundalini awakening wrapped into a children's fable of being good or being bad or being naughty or being nice. Also, having the optional fiction of a divine order of events, like a savior being born in a manger and three kings coming this way and a star guiding them, and how the trumpets will blow, and all of the imagery around Christianity and some other of the religions that also honor the Christ. That's another option that people have to participate with. Either one is equal. In a Kundalini context, I will suggest that the first one is far more beneficial and understandable, certainly if you were raised within the Western societies. Now, if you were raised Hindu or you were raised Buddhist and things like that, this may not make as much of a dent inside of your awareness. As we walk the Kundalini path, we can see the many influences that Hinduism and Buddhism has had upon people that are working with the Kundalini and who the Kundalini is working with them. And so even the word Kundalini is ancient Sanskrit. And so, the Sanskriti people, they knew about this. The rishis, they knew about this all the way. But it's just the rest of the world, or, Western Europe and part of Eastern Europe and into Russia, and then, down through, all the way down to Spain and then South America. If you're just looking at the European invasion of South America, those folks are really practicing, forms of Christianity, mixing it in with, say, the native people's shamanistic practices, and then over to Canada and the United States and Mexico, Central America. Anywhere that Christianity has spread its wings, well, you're going to find Christmas there. The native peoples of Central America and North America, not so much, but they're surrounded by it now, and so it's just as appropriate for them to kind of see what is in truth actually happening, rather than the commercial aspects of it, and the ad nauseum Christmas music that you'll hear when you're trying to go about your work or live your life in late December. So, or actually, I guess it really starts in November after Thanksgiving. People start turning on the lights. So it's very, very, very interesting time of year to be Kundalini activated, to be Kundalini awakened. And the gifts of grace are always there for you. You don't, in the upper latitudes of the world, the far north, where they have a lot of snow, and say the snow is kind of like there, a good 4 or 5 months out of the year. Well, you really didn't have a lot that you could do outside. You'd have had to have stored your food up. You'd have had to store your heat sources up, your water up, and things of that nature. And then you were just kind of like trapped in a longhouse with other people, with other clans. And this would have been part of the genesis of some of these understandings that I'm relating to you right now. So if you have any questions about this, I would like to invite you to call in. I just want to, here's the call-in number is New York, area code 347-934-0026. That's area code 347-934-0026. I would like to welcome everybody who's in the chat room and everybody who's called in, is listening on the telephone. Hello, everyone. So with regards to the reindeer, we have 8 reindeer on Donner, on Blitzen, on Vixen, and actually you can go into the names of each of these reindeer and you can find levels of shall we say, metaphysic information for each one. Reindeer, basically, this is introducing the environmental aspect. This is introducing how the environment helps us. I mean, We are nothing without our fellow mortals. I'm staring at a sleeping wolf right next to me right now. She passed out on the floor right next to me, and she's just having a great life now. And with the reindeer in a mundane sense was a giver of life. The people that were able to partake of the reindeer, like they do even right now, reindeer. The Latvians, they use reindeer quite a bit. A lot of the northern tribes still work heavily and depend heavily upon the reindeer, and some of these mythologies came down from the north. Saint Nicholas, for instance, is one of them. Well, without the reindeer pulling Santa on his sleigh, 8 of them, Santa's not going anywhere. And so what the Shakti Kundalini is teaching us is that you really need to recognize the great level of help that the environment gives you, that the animals give you, that they allow you to fly. They are in convergence with divinity all the time, not just at the end of December. They are in convergence with divinity all the time, and they and divinity themselves is what will park itself on the roof of your house and create the opportunity for you to become one with divine, one with the environment, one with the animals and the plants and all forms of creation upon this world. And so Christmas time is very, very, very important. Now, if you're diving in to the spiritual aspects, well, we have the baby Christ, the baby Jesus being born in a manger because there were no Motel 6s around at the time, and none of the inns were open, and so they had to go outside and they had to go into a manger. And once again, what is a manger? Well, a manger is where we feed the animals. And why do we have animals? Why are we feeding animals? Because we use them to help us survive. And so once again, divinity is pointing us in the direction of being able to understand that animals and the environment are absolutely crucial to our spiritual development. You could pray till the cows come home, but if you don't have anything to eat, well, your prayers are going to go, you're not going to last very long here. And what do the cows eat? The cows eat the grass. And what does the grass eat? The grass eats the minerals and the sun, and takes part of the soil. And so, it's really a very, very, very strongly connected chain of events that allow us to even be able to live our lives here and to have the Kundalini here, to have the enlightenment here. And then we have the star that the 3 kings, the Trinity, the 3 kings were following. The star would be that pineal gland. That's another allusion to the pineal gland, the lit up pineal gland. And what's lighting it up? It is God. It is Jesus. It is the Christ. It is the Mary, the Virgin Mary. It is, all of the different players within the Christian understandings that are coming together and providing a huge teaching. So once again, we've got the baby Jesus in the manger. We've got the goats and the cows and the horses and the camels kind of like surrounding them. And we've got the 3 kings coming on over, following their pineal gland and giving the gifts to the baby Jesus. The baby Jesus represents us in our nascent understanding and acceptance of the divine within us. Come as a child. Come as a baby Jesus into this stuff so that you can get this information purely without having the affectation of commercialism or greed or the issues of society come between you and the truth of who you really are. And so I really feel that even the whole what do they call it, nativity movement here in the United States and certainly in other areas of the world, there's a very, very strong Kundalini teaching being given in those reflections of grace upon the world as well. But with the Santa Claus and the elves and the mushrooms and the tree and the gifts under the tree and the chimney, boy, I tell you, I think that one has hit me the hardest, probably because I wasn't raised in in any one specific religion, and definitely was raised with Santa Claus, with Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, with the Easter Bunny, all of these types of things. My mother was very much, she was more than happy to allow us to participate in those areas. If you have a question or comment you want to make, the number is United States area code 347-934-0026, and I'm going to introduce the Queen of Celtic questionable comforts, Her Catholic Holiness, the Popette of Kundalini, Amelia Santara. Hello, Amelia. Ding, 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 ding.
Hello, Chrism.
This is the first time you've been called a Popette, huh?
The first time you've called me Catholic Amelia. I'm loving this, though. It's amazing, isn't it? I remember you told me a few months ago something to say around Christmas, and this obviously is it. Yeah, wonderful.
God, I've been waiting 6 months for this. This information
wonderful.
As I was driving Rosemary and Brooke up to Lake Tahoe, and we started talking about Kundalini, and this download just descended upon me, and all of it, just everything that it just said, just came through, and it was very it was eye-opening for everybody, myself included. I hadn't really looked at Christmas that closely with regards to Kundalini. To me, it was more of a commercialized holiday season rather than anything spiritual. But wow, when you look at the mushroom impact, and I mean, where did they get? It's like, why did they pick Amanita muscaria, the only Amanita that is not toxic to human? Every other Amanita mushroom will kill human beings. Kill them dead.
Well, yeah, interesting. We didn't have the mushroom as part of Christmas here, so it was fascinating to see, to hear you say that. And it's only very recently that I've noticed that mushroom in some of the stuff with Christmas. I'd say the last 2 or 3 years is all.
Yeah, the mushroom.
Yeah,
it's kind of a hidden thing right now. It's not as popular, say, as it once was, say, back in the 50s, 40s, 50s, 60s. You'd see more of the Amanita muscaria represented.
Wow.
The elves, sitting on them, or the elves, sitting under them, or you see, here's the other thing, is that the Amanita muscaria forms I forget what the word is, but it's like a symbiosis with the pine tree. You will only find this mushroom in pine tree groves, nowhere else. No, I take that back.
Oh.
Pine trees, mainly pine tree groves, but there's another kind of tree that you can also find them but mostly it's related to the pine tree. And so you go into the pine tree groves, the pine forests, and you will find the Amanita muscaria there. Just like a day or two after it rains, they typically come up then. And if you partake of that, well, you're going to partake of the muscimol. You're going to partake of a DMT type of scenario. The Siberian people of ancient times, they would. Their shaman would eat the Amanita muscaria, and eat like quite a few of them, and also drink a lot of I guess they called it mead, with their form of beer. And then when the shaman needed to urinate, well, people would pass their cups around, and he would urinate in their cup, and because that is taking the metabolite that the Amanita muscaria causes, is one of the most powerful, potent ways to take that Amanita muscaria. And so the shaman's urine was passed around the community, and all the warriors would take it. And they would typically do this right before they were going to go into battle with some other tribe, and they would fight with maniacal obsession. And these people became known, this tribe of Siberian people became known as the berserkers. This is where we get the term in the English lexicon is to go berserk is a direct reference point to the berserkers of Siberia.
Wow.
Cool, huh?
That's amazing. Yeah. It's so history lessons as well. I love it. Because that's a term we used here when we were kids all the time. You're gone berserk.
Exactly. Same with us.
Yeah.
The Amanita is very, very, very powerful, and once again, I don't suggest anybody take the Amanita muscaria unless they know absolutely for sure, without a doubt, that is indeed Amanita muscaria. And all the mushroom books will tell you it's toxic, it's poisonous, it'll kill you, but it isn't, and it won't, and it will actually begin a process of enlightenment. It's part of the short path, though, and it's also part of the Soma quintet. The quintet is the five. 5 things make up Soma. You've got Amanita muscaria, you've got Syrian rue, you've got the marijuana or the cannabis, and possibly Banisteropsis or ayahuasca. Although I don't know that ayahuasca was present in the Asian continent. But there are 2 other aspects to it that I won't name. But it's an extreme short path, and one of the reasons why they call it the short path is because you die if you're not able to do it correctly. It'll just kill you. And so the short path became a very short path. And so I strongly recommend that people do not participate of a short path. Slow is good, and earning it through other ways aside from chemical means is the best way, in my opinion. You don't need ayahuasca, you don't need marijuana, you don't need Syrian rue, you don't need any of these things to have Kunalini. You don't need that Amanita muscaria to have Kunalini. It's already there. It's helpful to have Santa and Santita. We'll call her Santita. It's helpful to have Santa and Santita dive down the fontanelle and dive down the chimney of your spine and visit the fires that are waiting to be stoked, and to have Santa and Santita stoke that fire and then come right back up, pulling that fire behind them. It's helpful, and this will happen anyway. You don't have to take plants or any kind of a short path scenario to have Santa and Santita come up there and do that. They will just do it. But for you to have the understandings now, as I've said plenty of times in these programs, information is power. You have information about this time of year. In the northern or southern latitude, doesn't matter. You don't have to have snow around you. You could be in Costa Rica right now where the sun is shining. Or you can be in Ireland right now where the sun's not shining.
The wind is howling and the rain is lashing. It's wonderful.
Yeah, you guys got a really, really ginormous, great, pounding storm. How cool is that? That's wonderful. And so, ladies and gentlemen, if you hear kind of like that would be Amelia's windows trying not to buckle to the force of wind coming off the ocean.
Yeah, it's amazing. Because when I was growing up, Chrism, as you mentioned, I was just being brought up as a Catholic. So, the baby Jesus, Mary, the 3 kings, all of that was very important. But Santa was as well. I think we got half and half, actually. But Santa was very emphasized for us. Santa was very much about love and service and selfless service, and what he did. We were always given, the root of how Santa began, giving presents to children way before it became commercial. That was always huge with us.
Yeah. And come to find out this hidden meaning of Christmas, the hidden meaning of this holiday season, and how this holiday season literally doesn't stop with December. It doesn't stop with the new year. The fact that it's associated with the new year just is really associating it with the new life that the actions of Christmas begin in a person.
Mm.
The new year is the new life because it's not gonna end with that new year. It's going to continue. Year after year after year after year, the person's going to continue their spiritual development in these ways. Okay? Now, they may not always, you only get one primary spinal sweep, and so, but you may get other phenomena associated with the Kundalini during this Christmas season, and I really want you to expand your understanding, expand the vision that your Kundalini, active or awakened, is now giving you, and begin to drink with thine eyes the color of grace that is surrounding you. Drink in the decorated pine trees, whether they're real or not, whether they're dead or living. Drink in that pine tree. Look at the ornamentation of that pine tree. Look at the angel at the top, at the star at the top. Let the lights pour into your soul and really begin to manifest an understanding that Christmas time really, in actuality, is Kundalini time. This is Christmas Kundalini. I was going to do a seminar called Christmas Kundalini, and I even made up a bunch of cards that said Christmas Kundalini, but I haven't been able to find a location for that, and people don't really have that knowledge yet, and so that it doesn't really interest them to that degree. But I will write about this, and this goes into the download section of what has been given to me via download from the Kunalini regarding Christmas time. And we have 12 months of the year, and December is the 12th month. And as I mentioned previously, 1 and 2 equals 3, and 3 is that holy trinity of sacred feminine, sacred masculine, and sacred child. And, it doesn't have to really anything to do with the Holy Ghost or any of those things. Certainly because they are so patriarchal and kind of bigoted towards masculinity during this epoch of time upon this society, but it's not necessarily that way. Santita gets to be part of the whole deal too. Matter of fact, that sleigh is a sleigh built for two. And it's not an elf that's helping Santa unload the gifts. It's Mama Santa. Also, Mama Santita. She also gets to help Santa with the gifts. And she travels down that spinal cord too. Make no mistake. And I'd like to welcome Manisha to the chat room. She finally made it in. Hello, Manisha. Good to see you. Now I want to wish everyone here a Merry Kundalini Christmas. Now, Santara, do you have announcements?
I do. I've been staring at my Christmas tree here while you've been talking there just the last couple of minutes, and I'm seeing it in a new light, Chrism. Even though I've always, since, we've spoken before about trees, and I've placed very Kundalini things on my tree, but I've never seen the shape of it or other aspects like that before. And I'm going to really enjoy this now for the rest of the time.
It's actually a triangle.
Yeah, it is.
It's one side of a pyramid, and the top of the pyramid is where we're all heading.
Yeah, wonderful.
We are that angel. We are that star. And we are the gifts under the tree and the ornaments of light on that tree.
The silver and the gold is what I'm looking at, and the sparkles and the red star and everything. Wonderful. Thank you. Right, well, I do have an announcement. I would like to tell people where they can go if they would like to make a donation. All donations help towards keeping Kundalini awakening systems functioning, and they are very much appreciated. This is the work that Chrism does full-time, all the time, and all donations help this to continue. So here is the website. It's www.ascension-consciousness, chrismkundalini.blogspot.com, and there is a donate button there. And another one you can go to is chrism-kundalini.blogspot.com. That one might be easier to remember, Chrism Kundalini with a dash in the middle, chrism-kundalini.blogspot.com. And again, a donate button, and you can send your donations there, and very much appreciated. As always, we say to you, no pressure. If you're not in a position to donate, don't feel under any obligation or pressure to do so. But if you are in a position to donate, and if you would like to contribute, well then please do feel free to go ahead. So that's chrism-kundalini.blogspot.com.
And
Mary Kundalini.
Especially this time of year, because people are being pulled to spend money this way and that, and a lot of times it's being driven by guilt. And so if you don't have any way to make a donation, don't you worry. You just continue to bring yourself forward. Now I have
but also it's a time I was going to say also it's a time where people reflect at the end of the year, and they actually do want to make a donation to the people and the organisations that have mattered to them during the year, people who have been important in their lives, and people that might want to make a donation at this time of the year as well, towards Kundalini Awakening Systems. So there we go. Okay. I interrupted you, Chrism.
Yes. It says we're on air, and I guess, Manisha has responded, and so I know I'm reaching people, but there doesn't I got no time count on this. Do you on yours?
I do. You mean the stream, the on-air stream list?
No numbers.
Yeah, no, I have. Yeah. We've got 1 hour, 8 minutes, and it's counting down. And I can hear you.
Okay.
How come you haven't got it? Because don't be sad. Don't be upset. So you are on air. Just get somebody. I can hear you, so assuming you're heard in the chat room. Hi, Manisha.
Let's see if people can hear us. I guess people can hear us on the phone too.
Yeah, we need somebody in the chat room too.
Rosemary?
Yes.
Can you hear us okay? Is it all
very
good?
Very well. It's very clear. Very well.
Oh, thank you. Do you remember that conversation we had?
As it's coming back a little bit,
on the way to Tahoe?
I remember on the way to Tahoe, but I don't remember all these details.
That's all right. It's been 6 months. No worries there. I'm going to put you in the blue, my dear. Thank you.
Oh, wait.
Up. Coming back to you. Yes, my dear.
I remember learning that Santa Claus was partly came from St. Nicholas, probably in Germany. And there is a St. Nicholas who was very kind also to children. And early in December, he comes and leaves things in your shoes. Like that was the practice.
Oh, nice. The soles of the feet, the soles of the feet, the base of the red triangle. Yeah. No, I hear you. And Claus, Santa Claus, or old Saint Nick. We know about that. But did we know that there was a Kundalini connection? And that's
heavens no.
No.
Really.
Thank you.
Right here. You're welcome, my dear. Thank you for coming on. If I can get that to work. Yeah. So how much time do I have left, my dear?
And you have 1 hour, over 1 hour, 5 minutes now.
Okay. Could you go ahead and begin your question?
I certainly can. So there was a member yesterday who posted on one of the groups and told us that during a meditation, unusually for her, she heard a word, and that word was Sephiroth. And I was curious about the word, so I Googled it. And And one of the things that it says is that it's described in the Kabbalah as the manifestations of God that allow him to manifest in the physical and the metaphysical. And there was other things like it's a character in a movie and all that sort of thing. But then the person wrote to me and they said, a question for Shakti, for Chrism. What is Sephirith? Does it have a Kundalini meaning, a meaning in a Kundalini context for her?
Separate?
Yes, it's spelled Sephiroth.
Oh,
she heard it during
Sephiroth.
Okay.
Come on, Amelia. Jeez Louise.
I know, Sephirith. That's how Irish people would say that word. We don't go Sephiroth.
Sephirith is a powerful angel, typically shown with 6 wings. If you find them on the internet, you'll see them with 6 wings. Powerful angel. I don't know if it's equal to a cherubim, but it's kind of up there in the angel hierarchy. And what was her question about that?
Well, her question was, she heard the word, which is very unusual for her, and the question was, did it have a meaning in a Kundalini context? She had seen it described in the Kabbalah as a manifestation of God and other stuff, when she Googled it.
Oh, stand by, 1 moment. Have some lemons. Merry Christmas. I just got a gift of lemons, everybody. Did I lose y'all?
No, you're there. You just got a gift of lemons. Nice.
Yes, he said, have some lemons. Tika, lay down, honey bun. It's okay. It's all right. Lemons will not hurt us. Sephiroth. There was something else in that post. I did read that post. She saw a vision. So I want you to read the post so people can get a really clear understanding of what's going on with that before I answer it.
Oh, okay. Give me 2 seconds and I will go over to where it is.
Read it out loud now. The whole Christmas thing and all of this holiday activity with Hanukkah and Kwanzaa and the different manifestations of celebration with different cultures of this world at this time of the year. It doesn't always have to indicate Kundalini. It does for us, and it does certainly with the examples that I'm using. But for other people, who do not, they don't have snow and they don't have reindeer and they don't have, they have other characterizations come to them through the belief system that they're practicing that will allow them to come into this information. This information wants to come to you. It wants you to have it. It wants you to understand, and it wants you to begin to live your life along the lines and shall we say the protocols of Santa and Santita. And that would be so be good for goodness sake. Be good for goodness sake. And and it's like Santa pulls out this list of how the child has been. Have you been correcting your karma? Have you been naughty? Have you been nice? Where have you been accelerating in your evolution, in your karma? Where have you been falling back into, shall we say, old, perhaps hurtful patterns towards yourself and others? Okay, and so it's important for people to understand that this time of year is really giving you the opportunity to take stock of how you are in your real life. Are you extremely argumentative? And do you know that you're argumentative? And if you are argumentative, are you trying to correct that? Amelia, while you're reading that post, can you go ahead and I'm going to put you in the blue for a little bit here while you're doing that. Feel free to pop red when you're ready, okay?
Okay.
Here we go. Just to take off some of that Irish windstorm that I'm getting very clearly here. Yeah, so this is all about refinement. How have you done this year? Were you naughty? Were you nice? Were you extremely argumentative? Were you self-correcting? Were you really trying to bring yourself into a greater level of awareness of God and divinity within you? Have you been striving to show that manifestation of divine awareness by how you treat the animals in your life, the environment in your life, the plants in your life, the people in your life, and the many, many different equations that social interaction will bring you? Have you been self-correcting? Have you been forgiving? Have you been tolerant? Have you been honest and truthful? Have you been loving and charitable and compassionate and kind? Have you been doing these things, ladies and gentlemen? Have you been doing these activities upon others and therefore upon yourself at the same time? Very important. Very important for a person to understand that. And as Amelia is reading this post, and I've read the post. It's a good post. It's an important post for people to understand. And so, you know, the Sephiroth and the cherubim and all these folks, you know, these are basically divine manifestations of grace, and they do play a part in what we're talking about here. Now, with regards to the Kabbalah, you know, this is the Jewish metaphysical system of study, and you know, they're very, very, very slow. I put them on the 50-year plan, like right along there with Kriya Yoga or you know, some of the Sanatana sacred Hindu practices that allow people to partake of this in very, very, very small increments, spaced out over a very, very, very long time, and you know, something that reiterates the idea that, oh, this is only going to happen to me in the next few lifetimes. It won't happen to me in this lifetime, which I totally refute. I refute this. I mean, you have the Kundalini at the base of your spine, meaning you can have that awakened now if it's interested in awakening and if you're interested in having it awakened. It takes two. Okay. You don't have to be on any kind of a 50-year plan. Granted, the more prepared you are, the better things go, but it's not a condition of divinity that puts that parameter upon a person. That is done by people upon people. That is an ego construct, not a divine construct. And so the divine construct really is the idea that, and the understanding and the fact that we have the Kundalini already at the base of our spine. It is already there. It was there since birth. It was there since we were even thought of. It's been there. That is the divine understanding. That is the divine application that this gift represents. It's not some high priestess or high priest going, okay, Mr. Chrism, you can only have this in the next 2.56401.9 lives. And right now, if you start right now, well then, you know, you'll get to have it then. But if you don't start now, then it's just going to take you a lot longer. It's just so ridiculous. But it is also a way to get people to start practicing certain levels of information that will allow them to improve their life and to improve the lives of those around them. And in a way, it was an ancient technique to turn a sword into a plow. This takes it a long time. Well, if it takes long enough, then they're not going to become a soldier, and they're not going to fight and kill and do all those types of things. So I can see some of the wisdom by having a 50-year plan, but these days I would say it's probably less of an issue to some degree, maybe it's more of an issue if you look at the proliferation of warlike materials, like what we see in Syria right now, and the Russians bombing, and the United States bombing, France bombing, Britain bombing this group called ISIS or ISIL, that has been created through the mistake of the Iraq War, that the United States is solely responsible for. Anyway, I see that you're back, dear Santara.
Can you?
Yes, I can hear you.
I am back. Yes, good, Chrism. So here we go. I meditated with a group of people last night. Shakti was so strong. There was another Kundalini lady there too. We have recognized each other. Such a strong streaming into me. At some point I felt the word Sephiroth. This does not usually happen to me, that words are given. And I saw a forest and me lying in the womb of the earth, lying in the bright lighted yoni of the earth. And there was a door that opened and light beamed out into the darkness. And a man, whom I only know briefly, whose birthday it was yesterday, was invited into the light, and he walked into it. And I remember being surprised. What was he doing there? Oh, I swam in such lovely energy, so high, such force and authority. I feel blessed. Shakti blesses me. Thank you, Shakti, for being with me. Thank you, Chrism, for being with me. Thank you all for being here.
Well, I would just like to say thank you to Manisha for having this stream. I think it's great, and I think that it is the idea of the Sephiroth, the six-winged angel, is basically, I think she was named. I think, Manisha, I think you were being named at the time. I think you were being shown what you are becoming. And I think that that was a high compliment. That was a high compliment. And I think that it was showing the basis of you, you know, the natural you being asleep in the forest. Yes, Santara, coming back on?
Oh, gosh, no. Will I go off? Let me know when you're finished. I just want to be prepared.
All right, we'll do. Now, the wolf right now is chewing on some huge, large bone. And I want to know if people can hear that. So if you can hear that there in the chat room, let me know, and I'm going to have to change her thing there, change her toy. But yeah, that's what that was showing, and it was showing you, Manisha, that this man could walk straight into the light. It's kind of like showing you what has happened to you and what is happening to you. And what, by virtue of the presence of yourself and another person, can be partaken of by others who are there. This is what I mean when I say that the Kunalini person has a very, very strong energetic footprint upon this world, far more so than a normal person. And so that would also be where the term Sephiroth would really bring a person the understanding that the power of divinity is coming and is there and is being represented, and the word Sephiroth would be mostly along the lines, oh, stand by. Hey, young lady. Yeah, I know. Let's try something different. Yeah, let's try something different. Here. Thank you. So yeah, the Sephiroth would be a manifestation of Jewish understanding of the angelic realm. And what we're understanding through this is that Manisha and the other woman and Santara and Eileen and Rosemary and Brooke and Mary Jean, Manisha, Lennis, Seeker, Vincent, all of the students you are actually becoming angels. You are becoming angels. You are becoming the understanding of Sephiroth. Okay, that is what is happening with you. Next question. Oh, I'm sorry. Amelia, are you otherwise occupied? Should I give you a moment? Hello.
No, but I thought you were going to bring me into the red. Okay, so I'm live again. Okay.
Yeah.
Next question. Thank you for that, Chrism. Actually, the word is beautiful when you say it. You know, Sephiroth. It has a lovely sound and resonance in the mouth as well. Sephiroth. I like it. Okay, so the next question, there's two questions, Chrism, so I'll read the two of them. What happens in the crown chakra, or what sensation is felt when the Kundalini enters there? And does the Kundalini move within the crown chakra? Is the movement circular clockwise or anti-clockwise?
It's both. It'll do that wormhole thing, and this is the closest I can come to it. I don't know if this is actually what the physics idea of a wormhole would be, but it will rotate clockwise and counterclockwise at the same time, and this creates a two that become one, a two directions that open a portal into a different dimension, I guess. That would be the closest way I could describe it. And so it will go both ways. And in those both ways, do we open a doorway so that a third way is introduced into the individual. And that third way forms the complete Trinity. And within that Trinity is where the Kundalini itself will begin to make its transformations upon the individual known. Now, can you go back and did I miss some part of that question? Can you read some more of that question?
Yes, the first part of the question was, what happens in the crown chakra, or what sensation is felt there when Kundalini enters there?
The crown chakra, oh my gosh. Geez Louise, yeah. It feels like every hair follicle has become its own individualized serpent. It feels like you have electric ants all through the top of the crown chakra. It feels like somebody is walking, some little creature is walking on your head, or like it feels like a group of people, little tiny people, would be dancing on your head dancers. It feels very beautiful, very good. If you don't have fear into the equation. If you have fear into the equation, it can be fairly antagonizing and anxiety-ridden, and you're constantly scratching your head, or you're constantly, changing your hair or pulling on your hair. But with me, I mean, I can tell you through my experience. Electric ants and serpents and head dancers and you feel really good. You feel very euphoric. You feel very happy, joyful, blissful. The bliss is amazing. The fontanelle may turn into an organ of sight, which means that all of a sudden, not only do you have bifocal vision, but you have bifocal plus a kind of like a fisheye lens on top of your head. This isn't as common as I may be making it sound. It's not common at all, but it does happen for people, and I have to state it so that for those people that have had it happen or are going to have it happen, they'll have reference point for it. The head may become itchy. You may feel the plates of the skull beginning to move and to realign themselves and reposition themselves around the fontanelle, which is really producing the Kundalini cone, which we have a video of called Kundalini Cone, C-O-N-E, and Brooke Robertson is describing what it feels like to have her Kundalini cone going up. The cranial plate migration is not instantaneous. This this can take months, even levels of years, before those cranial plates have completely realigned themselves around the fontanelle. They have in me, and they have in other people, but it's not instantaneous. And a lot of the stuff with Kundalini is instantaneous, and I don't want you to think that one is. It is not. That one takes time. You may begin to have kriyas. You may have sharp kriyas that will just spontaneously arch your back. Spontaneously arch your back. I have to say, everybody, the wolf went ahead and grabbed her bone again, so there she goes. I apologize in advance, but is it really distracting? If it's distracting, I'm going to put her in the back.
No, it's not, Chrism. It's not distracting at all. It's a very occasional little tap. Really, leave her.
Come here, sweetheart. Come on.
You do?
Let's go. Come on. No worries, I'll bring her back when the show's done. She'll get to have her bone again. She's a really nice wolf. And her and Lasha somehow seem to get along. So that's a bonus. So yes, okay. So yes, Manisha wrote, let the wolf have its bone. And she said dog, but it's not a dog. Okay, next question, my dear.
Okay, next question is, why do some feel fatigue during Shaktipat?
Oh, yes. Okay, so as the body is realigning its structure, as the Shaktipat comes into the individual, many different things are happening. I'm going to try to go through some of them right now. If y'all understand physics and how you have packets of energy, and so if you look at a typical molecule or atom, you have a proton, you have a nucleus, and you have electrical charged particles orbiting around that nucleus. So gold, the atomic structure of gold, has nucleus at its center, but it has a tremendous amount of electrical particles flying around it. Whereas if you look at hydrogen, it has one electron floating around it. Well, when the atomic structure of your body and the resonance of that body comes in contact with a Kunalini energetic pattern, the physical mundane pattern that I just described of the individual is going to get pushed faster. The orbiting electrons are going to be pushed faster. A divine energy has reached into that atomic structure and is beginning to change it, beginning to rotate it rapidly around the nucleus of the atom. And this is very, very, very important, because what it's going to do is it's going to start taking energetic reserves that your body normally had positioned for other things, and it's going to start putting it into the transformation of the individual. That takes energy, and that loss of energy is what a person can feel as they participate in a Shaktipat. It's not so much a loss of energy, though. It's more of a rearranging of energy, and that energetics, is going to be applied in a different way than the person is normally used to experiencing it. And as it experiences that change, that shift, that transformation, as the person experiences their energy being used in a different way than what their ego personality is normally used to feeling, well, then it's going to come up. It's kind of it's like, wow, I'm tired. I shouldn't be tired right now. I need to be Christmas shopping. what's going on here, you know? And so what I'm going to suggest, because we're right in the middle of a Shaktipat right now. Tonight will be the fourth chakra, one of my favorite Shaktipat chakras. And so we're right in the middle of the Shaktipat right now. For those of you who are listening who are in it, really, 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 really go for it and participate with it. But don't let the energetic shifting surprise you or frighten you. It is normal. It is normal for this to happen. And as the Shaktipat continues, you may start to get a little more tired, a little more sleepy, a little less energized. And on the other hand, you may become far more energetic, far more enlivened, far more active in it. It's not just a depletion. Some people respond very, very, very positively to that atomic structure within their body being smacked really hard by the Kundalini and really increasing in a stepped up rotation, i.e., a stepped up speed of energetic manifestation upon the individual. Well, that can be experienced as a form of energetic infusion, where you become very creative, very, very durable. I.e., your energy lasts a long, long time. You don't need as much sleep. You don't get sick as often. You know, everything is being changed. Your immune system is being changed. The way your heartbeat is being changed. The way you metabolize oxygen and nitrogen and all of the different substances that we use for air. The way you metabolize your food, the way you interact with other people is far more ebullient and joyful and happy and blissful, and you reach out into the population, maybe do some nice things for perfect strangers. I mean, it's a very, very, very good feeling. It's a very, very strong gift of grace that person, that teacher may be giving the individual. And so really, really, really buy into it. Buy into it strong. If you're practicing the safeties, which I suggest all that you do, and anybody that I give Shaktipat to, direct, intentional Shaktipat, will all be practicing the safeties. What happens to me is I can't get their chakras to light up if they're not practicing. I go straight through that scatter field, and the scatter field determines who's practicing and who isn't. Okay. And that's the whole point of that safety protocol, because if you're not practicing the safeties, then you shouldn't have Kundalini, at least not from me. Over. Oh boy, here we go.
Okay. No. Next question. What is bliss? Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Manisha asked if it was really a wolf, and it really is a wolf. She's a nice wolf, though. Bliss. Bliss is that energy of the divine that begins a tactile response to Kundalini upon the body. It's like breathing the divine air. And when you take a gulp of that divine air, it fills your body with such feelings, tactile feelings of love and happiness, joy, even to the point of sobbing and weeping, even though you're not sad. You know, bliss can be such a strong energetic component that the body must use certain organs as a way of finding balance within that energetic, as a way of letting it run through the body without blockage, so that it doesn't burn through the body with blockage. You know what I'm saying? And bliss is a component of grace. And, you know, a lot of people are going, oh, gosh, I just want to have bliss all the time. It feels so good. Well, you know, if you had bliss all the time in a body that is not prepared to have it, that body's going to get damaged. And so the divinity itself will not allow that to occur. the divine itself will pull itself back after short periods of bliss or ecstasy, and that person will be allowed to process that severe energy. And you got to remember, because it is bliss and because it is of a divine component, there is a signature that is stained upon the individual. I only use stained because it becomes a permanent tattoo of itself upon the energetic anatomy of the individual. So even though it's still there, the body, the physical body, the emotional body, the psychological body, the mental body, and the spiritual body, they need to come up to speed with what the residual force of the bliss or ecstasy is giving. And this is why it only comes in spots. Now, some folks, when they have their first primary spinal sweep, the divine is so strong within them that it will form as a barrier, like a prophylactic against the person being burned to such a degree. The divine itself will protect the person from that aspect of divinity that would cause them harm and allow them to have bliss for 3 weeks or a month of that nature. But pretty soon enough, that bliss will fade, and that person will be forever, if they don't have good instruction, they'll be forever chasing that bliss again. Bliss is an energetic component of the divine that comprises emotional energy and love, the love of divinity, divine love, and that divine love is what everybody wants to get. Everybody wants to feel this. Over.
Wonderful, thank you. Now I'm almost afraid to ask you the next question.
Well,
here we go.
Tell me what's the time saying?
Oh, 1 second. You've got 33 minutes left.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah. So the next question is it possible to remove all the chakras?
No. Oh gosh, this question came up like 2 shows ago. This is fairly ludicrous. To me, it's a joke. But the problem is that some people will believe in such a joke. Yes, you can remove the chakras by killing yourself. Death will remove the chakras. Can you remove the chakras for a certain reason or no? No. You have to remember that chakras are emanations of Kunalini, but also of the force of life and chi and prana within the individual. And each chakra is situated above and within specific neural, I'm looking for a word here, specific neural placements upon the spine. So the heart chakra will have very, very specific neural placements and neural resonance. And so as the different neural inputs collect over specific areas of the spine, they give off a very, very strong energetic radiance. And so in order to take away a chakra, you'd have to take out the nerves as well. And if you take out the nerves, then you take out the sympathetic parasympathetic system of the body. Therefore, you can't feel, you can't walk, you can't think, you can't taste, you can't touch, you can't see, you can't hear. Therefore, it's ludicrous to the whole idea of taking a chakra removal. And look at the hubris of this. Look at the ego investment into thinking that you can just dismantle a person's chakra because you've got nothing better to do on a Sunday? I mean, are they giving reasons why they want their chakras removed, Amelia?
No, Chrism.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah. So it's just this type of a question and the type of person asking the question. I mean, they may be absolutely innocent, but This is a very strong component of the lack of good information that a person can find on the internet. This is disinformation regarding Kundalini, disinformation regarding chakras, disinformation and a lack of clarity, a lack of understanding about how the energetic anatomy is working and why it's even there. You know, can you take the skeletal system out of the body, Santara?
No, nor remove the heart. Chrism, it was, nor can you remove the heart. I mean, no, you'd be dead. It's. I don't understand why somebody would even ask it, but I know there was questions as well about alien implants tied into this. To this thing. Do you want to say something? Yeah. Do you want to say something about that?
Sure, I can say about alien implants. Alien implants happen. You know, just as we perform experiments upon mice and cats and dogs and horses and cows and fish and frogs and, you know, all of the creatures that are just as important to our environment as any human. As we perform experiments upon those creatures, so are we also experimented on by entities from other places, rather other dimensions or other planets. I mean, we get to participate in the karma we create upon others. So you'll have implants. You'll have, and I think this has been fairly well proven. Trying to think of the name of the guy. There was a radio announcer named Art Bell, and he got into that a lot. And then he stopped, and a guy named George Norrie took over his show, and they talk about alien implants. And there are a bunch of people that you know, they've done the scientific analysis of alien implants, and what they have is they have levels of bismuth and other metals that are sandwiched together, and these alien implants have the ability to be moved from a distance. They have an agenda. They can move themselves within the body. You know, a person takes them out, well, they can move themselves outside of the body as well. So alien implants are a real deal. They're just as real. The fact that you have Kunalini doesn't really mean that you're going to attract any kind of an alien implant. You may certainly attract alien attention simply because you're having the Kundalini, and the Kundalini itself is such a precious source of grace within the physical dimension that anything that is of the physical dimension will be attracted to the Kundalini. But yeah, alien implants exist, and they've existed for a very, very long time. Over.
Okay, thank you. But there's no need for us to put focus of fear on any of that. There's not.
No, you don't need to focus fear at all. I mean, and of course that's what people bringing up that stuff. They all, you know, they get the fear titillation going on, and there is no need to be afraid because you have divinity, and divinity has you, and that's what you really need to focus on. You focus on the divine component of what is occurring for you. And you might just envision yourself on the stage. You know, I've been on stage in front of thousands of people, and everybody is taking their own measure of what you are saying or doing when you're in front of a large group of people. And it's the same thing that's happening right now. As we have the Kundalini, we walk the Kundalini, we talk the Kundalini, we live the Kundalini, we're attracting a huge audience of those that have yet to come into the Kundalini, of those that have yet to participate in a physical realm, having a human body and going through karma and, you know, having only 5 senses and having to be dependent upon others and all of this type of thing. And they look at that and they go, wow, that human school will get you there quick. But boy, do you have to really, really sacrifice your abilities and your skills in order to let it happen. So you attract a big crowd of interest, not only from aliens, but also from discarnate humans going, wow, geez Louise, is that what I'm looking for? Is that why I'm taking this human body over and over and over again? Well, okay, I am down with that. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Next.
Okay, thank you. A question for Chrism, if it's possible. When do we know 100% that we talk to our Kundalini? Thank you.
What?
When do we know 100% that we talk to our Kundalini?
When you hear your voice talking to the Kundalini, you can know 100% that you are indeed talking to your Kundalini.
Okay. I think the person is wondering, though, how do we know it's the Kundalini?
One moment, please. Yeah, well, you only really know that you're talking to the Kundalini when you say Kundalini in me, and then you ask your question. You know that your Kundalini is going to hear you because it's always there within you. Whether or not it answers, well, that you're going to have to discern. Is the answer that comes to you of a corrupting nature? Is it saying, Santara, yes, this is your Kundalini, and I think that I think you should kill yourself today because I'm God and I say so. Then this does. I'm joking, but that does happen to people.
It does. Yeah.
Oh yes, it does indeed. Some entity shows up and says, "I am God. Thou shalt do as I say unto thee." And if they can figure out the old English, then they may indeed do that type of a thing. And it's a good question. I'm glad they asked the question because it's important for people to understand that the Kundalini will respond to you. It will, but it may not respond to you with words, you see. It may respond to you with a symbol. It may respond to you with a feeling. It may respond to you with an intuition. It may respond to you in many, many different ways that are not word-based. And it's very, very important for people to understand that just because the communication isn't word-based, it's still viable communication. And if you're holding out to hear it in English, in a word, or in the language that you speak, then that's when that expectation can attract an entity, and that entity can step in and say, whatever it wants to say, typically of a corrupting nature.
Well, that's interesting, Chrism. So,
a lot of it
depends
on trust. You must trust the Kundalini to communicate with you in the way that it wants you to understand itself within you. You must trust that. If you don't have trust, then you don't have anything. Trust in the Kundalini is absolutely, you have to have it. It's absolutely necessary. And it's not trusting, it's like, oh gosh, I hope I have the Kundalini. It's not that at all. It's a knowledge that even knowing the word Kundalini begins an excitation of itself within the person. A person should just sit down and just say Kundalini over and over. Kundalini, Kundalini, Kundalini. As you do that, you begin to excite specific energetics within the base of the spine and in the heart. And these will begin to grow a Kundalini equation upon a person. Okay? But if you're expecting a voice to say, hello, Mary Jean, yes, I am your Kundalini. How the heck are you? Well, then, you may be waiting a while for that. Not to say that it can't happen. It's just not saying that it's typically the way it happens. Typically, the way it happens is that people are given symbols. They're being shown, they're being educated how to talk or communicate in a very specific way that is nonverbal. Over.
And you're also saying, as well, Chrism, that a person's expectation of what that communication is going to be can actually attract an entity who will deliver your expectation exactly as you expect it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Wow.
That's right.
Okay, so the next question. Can Kundalini have an impact on our memory, on our previous knowledge?
Previous knowledge of what?
Well, I think
I took this from the end. Studied in college or high school, that type of thing?
I think so. Yes.
Yes, it can. It can. What it does not deem important to your process or to the process of others who may be around you, it will take over your brain. It will take over your mind. It will take over your body. It will take over your memories. And it will choose what memories are appropriate for you and what memories just need to be filed away. So it will have a direct effect upon what your memory is like and what your memory is doing, and whether it's applicable to your life or not doesn't really matter to the Kundalini. What matters to the Kundalini is the applicability of itself within you and of your surrender to it. So yeah, the memory engrams can really be affected by this, strongly so. People keep telling me, I get a lot of complaints from my students. It's like, oh, you've forgotten that already? And you got to add the nasal quality to it. Oh, you've forgotten that already? And it's like, oh, geez, here we go. Sometimes Kundalini will write an article through me, and I'll have no idea what was written. And yet I worked at that article for over an hour and a half, and once it's done and it's posted, boom, it's erased in my mind.
Gone. Yeah.
And I have to reread it. Sometimes I found myself reading an article that Kundalini has written, and I don't know, I have no memory of it at all. I'm going, wow, God, this person really knows. Who is this person? And I'll look and it'll say, Blessings, Chrism. I'm going, oh, jeez. Thank you, Kundalini. So yeah, it can mess with your memories. Next.
Okay, next question. I've developed pain in my knees, and I got an X-ray done. It's reporting the early signs of osteoarthritis. I'm a fitness freak, and I'm concerned about my career being at risk. Can you suggest if it is age-related or if it's Kundalini-related? And this would be a Kundalini person.
Say it again now.
This person has recently
Has what?
developed...
Has written you?
Sorry?
Can you repeat the whole question, please?
I can. Recently, I've developed pain in my knees. An X-ray reported the early signs of osteoarthritis. I'm a fitness freak, and I'm concerned that my career is also at risk. Can you suggest if this is age-related or Kundalini-related? And I'm also saying that this person is a Kundalini person.
Meaning they're Kundalini awakened or activated?
Oh, I don't know, activated anyway, Chrism. Definitely.
Well, it could be both. It's not just has to be one or the other. It can be both at the same time. If osteoarthritis is a lack of synovial fluid in the joints of the individual, like in a knee, as the wolf comes up and sets her nose right on my knee. Thank you, dear. It is a lack of the synovial fluid, and that forms levels of crepitus, which would be bone upon bone, and this can be very painful. This can preclude a person from having a pain-free movement or pain-free type of scenarios in their life. This is definitely a person. What are they? They need to take their 369 oils. They need to take their fish oil. They need to really begin to support the function of the body that develops the oils for joints, the synovial fluid, the fluid that, and forgive me if I'm saying the wrong thing here, but I think it is synovial fluid. And this can happen in the shoulders, in the elbows, in the ankles, in the knees, in the hips, in the neck, and the wrist, even in the fingers. And so the scenario is you want to look at where, just the knees. Okay, so I would say for this person, it is Kundalini related, but they do need to have a dietary change. I'm looking at them. I have a feeling they're a little more vegetarian than they need to be, and maybe some compact proteins with attendant oils would be very helpful for them, as well as taking a good multivitamin, as well as taking a vitamin C complex, like all the things that I typically ask people to bring into their awareness. Are they drinking enough water? How much? She's a fitness freak, or he's a fitness freak, and what does that mean? Is he overusing parts of the body just to be a freak? Whatever that means. Is he? What is this person doing with the body? How are they? And why are they doing what they're doing? Is this person having a vanity experience through having the perfect body, and therefore maintaining that perfect body maintains that vanity experience? What's going on? What are the other dynamics that are feeding in to this individual's need problems? And so these also need to be looked at. What are your emotions around it? How much service are you giving? Knees, they help you stand up in the world. As you stand in the world, do you just stand for your own, or do you stand for yourself and for the grace of God that is flowing within you as an activated Kundalini person? Are you reaching into the public? Are you giving kindness to strangers? How are you reflecting divinity in your daily life existence, and in any way, shape, or form? What are you doing? And if your knees are sore, are you getting a massage? Are you doing stretches? Are you keeping the knees in shape? What are you doing? Are you having levels of gelatin and things of that nature that can keep that the ball and the joint of the knee in good shape? What are you doing? And so, if this person is involved in any of these equations, well, they really need to start looking at what it is they're doing, what it is they're not doing. Definitely, after the show is over, if you can direct their attention to this answer for them, would you, Amelia?
Yes, I will indeed, Chrism, I will indeed. And the fact that it's the knee, could that be associated again with, say, flexibility in bending to the will of the Kundalini, following the Kundalini's agenda, maybe?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I would, with these types of scenarios, osteoarthritis, that's not an easy thing. That can be a very painful type of thing. And so I would suggest more yoga. I know that yoga stretches like holding a pose for 3 minutes instead of 30 seconds, and gently and deeply breathing into that asana, and making sure you do both sides equal, and letting the life force, letting the chi and the prana mix in order to provide very specific levels of health for the body. This person, I get the feeling they're kind of into the developmental aspect, developing the body that they want to have, developing, things that are serving the ego rather than serving the divine.
Okay, good. The next question is about breathing, actually. My question is, what is the benefit or purpose of breathing in chakras?
Chakra breathing.
I'm assuming so. And this person, well, I don't know if they're currently in the Shakti path or not, but I know they would have been at one stage. So
the chakra breathing
anyway.
helps stimulate the opening of the chakra to the Kundalini by virtue of the safeties protocols and the prayer to the Shakti. This is all part of the Shaktipat equation. So, yeah, the chakra breathing all the way up to the throat, that's very, 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 very helpful, very conducive to the Kundalini, very helpful to allow a certain level of energetic infusion occur. As the energy of the Kundalini hits each chakra, those meanings of each chakra will become very, very amplified. So as the Kundalini comes up, the first chakra is vivified with Kundalini. Well, then issues of survival, issues of having having a roof over your head, having food available to you, having warmth available to you, having a situation where whatever you are in society, that you can stay connected to this world by virtue of being able to survive it. And so the Kundalini will light that up, and then it'll light up the next chakra, and all the different aspects of that chakra will light up. Well, as you chakra breathe, you're basically inviting Kundalini into each of the chakras. And as you invite that Kundalini in, so does it come in. At first it comes in small amounts, and then as that invitation is accepted in a greater format, then greater amounts of Kundalini will come into that person's energetic anatomy, and that will drive itself forward within them as well. Chakra breathing is that invitation. Over.
Thank you. There's two left now, but you haven't that much time. Could you say something about the differences between a top-down? Is a top-down activation more difficult than a bottom-up?
Top-down, you're basically starting at the crown chakra, and you're going from extreme refinement into density. That's always harder to do. With a bottom to top, you're going from density into refinement. And this is the normal way this is a more familiar way for people to develop the physical ability to have and hold Kundalini. With the top down, typically a result of recreational drug use or some sort of an equation that allows that to occur. Typically, people storming the gates of heaven, or they want it now. They want it now. They don't want to have to practice. They don't have to wait. They just want it now. Like you, Amelia. And
doing both drugs all the time, man.
That's right. And pushing it really, 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 really hard, day in, day out, day in, day out. And that's going to really, really put them into a position of having a top down, which means lots of headaches, which means seeing things that aren't there, that you don't understand are there. I mean, having Kundalini and wanting Kundalini are very, very, very different equations. And I'm going to suggest that anybody that is interested in having the Kundalini, you focus on your tailbone first. You go from bottom to top, not top down, and do not do the drug. The only drug or plant that I'll suggest with the Kundalini would be the ayahuasca, and only within authentic South American protocols would I suggest that. That means you're hearing the songs, which they call Icaro. You're hearing the songs, the Icaros. You've made the pilgrimage, say, to Peru or Ecuador, Brazil or Colombia or wherever you're doing it, and you've done the research, you've made the commitment. And then you have the fruits of your labors.
Chrism, is it like we're talking there about storming the gates of heaven, and is it true to say though that Kundalini awakening is never a mistake, that it's divine timing, even like, because not everybody who storms the gates of heaven has a Kundalini awakening, do they? So even though it may be a mistake, it's not a mistake. Is that true? That it is their time?
I don't know. I mean, does the ego make mistakes?
Oh, no, I'm not talking about that. Of course it does. But I'm talking about the awakening.
You are indeed talking about that. Does the ego make mistakes? Yes,
of course it does.
So therefore, the manifestation of Kundalini upon the body can be the result of a mistake that person has made by storming the gates of heaven. Especially if they've been warned not to. If they have knowledge before the fact, then they know that they're taking a chance. They know that therefore this could be somewhat of a painful experience. So if they know, it's not an accident. It's not a mistake. It's something that they have gone into. If they don't know, then it still isn't an accident, because they've had to do everything they could do to bring themselves into that position.
Mm. Yes, so the person's, is there divine timing in that? No?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay, so we have time for another one.
4 minutes is what I got.
Oh, it's back? You have the time clock
No,
back?
I don't have it. I'm looking at my computer time, which I'm not sure is even really accurate. So I'm also looking at my watch. Looks like, what do you have? How many minutes do we have left?
Yeah, we have 4 minutes, yeah.
Okay. Last words for you, Kundalini Goddess.
Last words for me, I just to say thank you for this show, Chrism. Hi to everybody, hi to the people listening in the chat room, and to people who are on their phone. I know that Helly is listening on the phone. She's not there in the chat room, and there are other people on the phones here. Hi to all of you, and thanks a million, Chrism. I really, really enjoyed the beginning of the show when you were talking about Kundalini and Christmas time, and it will never be the same again. Thank you.
Title of the show, Kundalini, Christmas Kundalini, okay?
Yeah, Christmas Kundalini.
Okay, everybody, I would like to say thank you to everybody who has joined us today. I'd like to say thank you to Tara and to everybody that's called in, everybody in the chat room, and everybody outside of the chat room listening on their computer's phone, as Tara has listed. I'd like to say Merry Christmas, Merry Hanukkah, Merry Kwanzaa, Merry whatever holiday a person is partaking of in this time. I'd like to thank you for listening to this program. For you in the archives, you future people, I'd like to say thank you to you as well. And may God bless and may Kundalini bless each and every one of you. Thank you for listening. Here we go.